but we know how damn good he is. So where do you feel like he's going to kind of slot himself into this kind of team now that the meta's definitely changed, new items, and do you think he has a new fire in his belly to come back and really hit hard?
Well, the thing I like about IG is because they have so many younger players coming in, even if the Shy isn't hungry, the rest of the team will be. So that's what I'm counting on to kind of get them through all of the difficult situations that they've been put on. Shin going for Nidalee straight off the bat. This typically isn't your first pick champion. It is for Kanavi. It might be a takeaway in that sense, but you know, it's very interesting. We're going to see a carry matchup in the jungle right at the get-go.
Yeah, straight away, these picks and bans coming in thick and fast. We got the Nidalee, as you say, for Shun, with the Graves and the Leona locked in for JDG. As you can see on the list, it is Loken playing in the AD carry role with Lu Mao, and we actually didn't really get to talk about Lu Mao at all. Still considered, I think, by a lot of people as the best support in the entire league.
He definitely has the best in terms of champion pool, in terms of initiation, in terms of shot calling. I think he's the premier pick that everyone wants to look at. For IG right now, they know that Loken almost exclusively plays Jhin, so they're going to go for the Misfortune, and this is a counter pick that we've seen where Misfortune has control of the lane. She has earlier a poke out, and typically does force the Jhin to go something like a boot start just to not lose that many HP, so I like that read from IG. Loken has been a little bit limited in terms of what he does play. And now for JD Gaming, they're doing the counter punch towards the top lane. If you guys know about the Shy, you know about his AD carries in the top lane. You know about the Lucian, you know about the Kalista. If you give him those two picks, the game basically revolves around him. You either shut him down early or he just runs away with it. So I like JD Gaming. They want to play a more standard game. They're just taking that off the board.
I also feel like if you're the IG coach, you're like, oh, thank God. They're taking away Kalista. He's not going to pick it. We don't have to pick it for him, lads, anymore. It's fine. So he kind of gets to give himself a much more standard draft. Yone going to be banned away as the final ban here for JDG. Could be Rookie, could be the Shy. Hell, could be Wink. Yone's kind of one of those one-for-all Yasuo kind of types that can just really work if you can get the right composition around him. With the final ban being the Volibear up on that top side. Like you said, a lot of focus towards this top side. I'm curious to see how the Shy will kind of go into that matchup against Zoom.
Zoom versus the Shy is one of our classic matchups, and from what we've seen, Zoom typically is the one that kind of plays the punching bag role. He is going to be the one that allows the Shy to kind of get away with CS leads, but shows up more in team fights. That's how the dynamic has worked before for these two. But we'll see what happens right now. You know, the Shy is one that doesn't hesitate to really bring out things like the Quinn when he sees a Renekton, or even go for other crazier picks. Gnar is also a champion that I want to pay attention to because a lot of people have been picking up, especially Zoom. And indeed, we actually see the Shy locking that in. You know, Gnar recently got a couple of buffs to Mega Gnar, and he also has extra attack speed coming out of Hop. So that has always been a counter matchup, and one that the Shy is very proficient on.
Yeah, very, very well versed in that matchup, and definitely a lot more standard composition coming out from IG, something that we're not really sometimes used to seeing, as you say, from the Shy coming in with all these different picks. But does go with the standard Nard. They've got a pretty decent front line with a very good back line to be able to kind of go for it. Overall, I feel like the comps are very, very well set in that they have their own strengths and they have their own weaknesses, but these two teams should know how to play around them.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at these two teams, JD Gaming have more of a standard kind of front-to-back team fight where they're going to be kiting around and do a lot of damage in these extended team fights with the likes of Kanavi, Xia, and Loken. And on the other hand, IG is more of a wombo combo comp. They do have the likes of Balan that can fly in. Not really. He doesn't really have a partner to fly in. Maybe the Shy if he gets the Mega Hop. But they do have more of a wombo combo vibe to them with the Orianna Shockwave, the Gnar against the wall, and the potential Cannonball composition with Galio coming down.
No fist bumps for you, sir. This is COVID times. We got to remain socially distanced, of course, being very respectful of each other and their team's coaches. And I do like how they got that little awkward moment of like, what do we do now? Like, this is kind of shaking hands is kind of a faux pas right now. So we gotta back ourselves away from that and just give a nice, very respectful bow. But both team comps locked and loaded. Like you said, the wombo combo coming in for the side of IG with a much more standard, tried and tested, especially in this meta, front-to-back team fight for the side of JDG. And for JDG, just to kind of feel out how they're looking. They didn't look amazing in Demacia Cup. They had good moments, but there was definitely cracks showing, especially for Shie. He did not have a great tournament.
Yeah, and that's our general worry with JD Gaming, and why I went with IG in this prediction, is that this iteration of the JD Gaming team comp feels very, very slow. I understand why they're running this roster. They want Shia revved up for eventually when they can, work together with Mystic. However, Yagao a lot of times was the more dynamic player. He had things like the Kiana, he was a better Zoe and a better LeBlanc by far, and without that early game presence, JD Gaming do feel like they kind of just fall into farm mode for most of the early game and lead objectives.
Yeah, I want to see... Wait for the Gyos. Is that it? Is there more? No, they're done. Good job, crowd. Proud of you. But yeah, I want to see more proactivity from JDG. I think that's the big thing I can take from the Demacia Championship. I want to see them move forward, look to make things happen, rather than just sitting on the laurels and waiting for things to fall into their lap. Yes, with some teams that will happen. With a team like IG, it's a very, very big if.
Definitely is the case, and honestly, Lumao is the one that I feel is saddest in this team configuration, because there's no one really going in with him. He's a sole engage, and everyone is kind of waiting for the scaling to happen. But, let's focus in onto this game. You're going to have a topside start for the likes of Kanavi, and bottom lane for Shun. So, a bit of potential gank pressure coming in for Zoom. Let's see how he controls his wave.
Yeah, we get able to kind of go for anything here. Again, you're against the Shy, and no matter how good or bad he is playing, and Xenoblade goes in. That's a lot of damage onto Wink, and Alan has to play keep away here. Heal was used, was traded overall in the end for the exhaust, but again, good damage here from the side of JDG's bot lane. Again, looking as strong, and this is the problem we didn't really get to talk about in the pregame, but this revolving door of bot lane, between the players they've brought up, the players that are currently on the starting roster in Baolan and Wink, it doesn't feel like IG are 100% on who they want to go with.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment so far. However, I do want to just mention how bad that trade went for IG. Typically in this matchup, Misfortune wins the HP trade most of the time. He had to burn double pots and took the 4-shot from Loken. However, the gank's coming in.
Gank is coming in. They actually get the Ignite down. Flash from Baolan. He did not get a knock-up, did not get any CC, had used his taunt previously, and that is just a very, very unfortunate time for the side of IG and Baolan. That's not what you need to be doing, buddy. You can't be giving away these kind of advantages, especially this early on.
Yeah, that was the flash used in the 3v2 scenario, so very weird situation, and definitely shouldn't have panned out that way. And that's also something that a lot of players and a lot of viewers of IG fans are questioning, is that, hey, are we gonna run Ballland the entire way as support?
Yeah, and Kanavi doing very, very nicely just to keep Wink underneath his tower, forcing him back. That wave will be pushed into the tower now. There's no TPs available for anyone on the bot side, so this is just going to be lost farm, lost, experience, lost pressure, especially coming into these early stages. And it shows you the difference, I suppose, in Shun and Kanavi. Kanavi comes down, gains endless amounts of advantages. Shun comes down and sees a support flash for no reason. Like it's just the difference, I suppose, between the 3v3.
Yep, and to be honest, Wink plus Ballan, this is actually a very, very new combo, and we do have to mention that IG have 3 players in both the AD carry and the support position. So they didn't drop anyone, they just overloaded, and it looks like they're trying to see what will actually stick and work out by the end of the split. So I would say this bot lane is definitely work in progress, and I would treat a lot of their games as kind of a tryout. Just to mention who the AD carries are, it's going to be Puff, it's going to be Wink.
I was just going to say who they are.
Puff, Wink, and Snow are in the AD carry position. Southwind is still there. Ballland is starting now, and they also promoted Lucas up from IG Young. So 6 players in the bot lane.
But I'm not going to be talking about the bot lane right now. We're going to be talking about the jungle. Shun forced to flash. He did get the big Raptor, but loses all the little babies. So not able to get the full collection. Has got an amplifying tone back in his back pocket, so a little bit of extra damage, but nothing too amazing to be singing to the high hills about. But again, overall, good pressure from Kanavi, good synergy from Kanavi and Lumao, and this is something we saw from Lumao pretty much all the time. He just syncs up with his jungler, roams in, and he's totally fine with leaving Loken and potentially Mystic to their own devices. He's happy to do that.
Yeah, and that's also something that we really want to see at the end of the split, how that pans out, because Mystic, his supports never left him. You don't leave Mystic alone in lane because he's going to carry you in the late game. However, that's a completely different dynamic with Loken and the likes of Lurmal. Lurmal is that sort of absentee parenting. He always leaves the lane. He's always going somewhere to find better and bigger things with the rest of the team. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic that we have to keep track of further on.
And actually, IG going for this dragon. It's a bit risky to say the least. They have got pressure in the mid lane though, so I feel like JDG shouldn't be too aggressive here. But Shun's so low, he was left to tank it. Rookie had pressure in the mid lane, but he was just a little bit too late to the party. They're going to try and keep tanking it. Flash in. There is the Shield of Daybreak. They can't quite get the kill, though, just yet. Luma picks up himself a kill, or a death even, but the dragon goes over to the side of JDG, and now they're trying to turn around this fight, but this Wink and Rookie combo is still very, very healthy. Here finally comes Kanavi, the cleanse used by Wink. Dragon over to JDG. Flash burned by Loken as he looks for more and more aggressive plays. The bouncing grenade. He is no mana. Rookie does survive the fourth shot, but here is the TP coming in from the Gnar. The Shy is here. They're going to pepper him down with the Make It Rain. The flash in. The Shy jumps over. It's all action all the time. And this is what you wanted to see from JDG versus IG. It's chaos. It's anarchy, but it is League of Legends in LPL, and I bloody love it.
Oh, wow. What overforcing from both sides, neither willing to back down, and that just went all the way. I have to say that's massively in favor of JD Gaming, you know. They trade the support kill, but look at how much CS that the Shy is getting denied by. They lose the Drake over that as well, and honestly, this is... JD Gaming is just having a field day with this one. A little bit unfortunate at the start right there. Really good shielding coming in from Rookie to keep his jungler alive. Actually able to make sure that a flash had to be burned from Shia to finally find that kill. But at the end of the day, Loken does find the objective. They do trade the kills. And in the top lane, that was a free and open lane. Multiple waves for Zoom to just take up and even get a turret play.
Oh, 3 people now coming down to try and find Baolan. He has got his mid laner here. Nice little taunt to stop any kind of extra advance, but Lumao feels it. Doesn't have the reach though with the Xenoblade and has to back himself away. And this is the problem that we kind of saw from IG a lot last year as well. Like, their bot lane just wasn't really up to scratch with the top teams, and it is a massive point of weakness for this side that better teams have punished.
It definitely is a case right here, and I love what JD Gaming are doing. Look how far and how hard they're actually pushing that Vision in. She is in a dicey position though. He goes down instantly.
Oh, Shie about to lose, add another L to that win-loss column against Rookie, as we can see Kanavi now being taken down. Rookie, it's a 2v3, and this is why you can never count out Rookie. He is still one of the best, if not the best mid laners in the world, and that is what you get when you pay for him on your team.
That was so disgusting. Honestly, JD Gaming didn't look like they were on the same page at all. Shia went in while the rest of the team was actually still backing out. And they get massively punished for that. Let's watch this again. Okay, so Shia doesn't have vision. He sees the Nidalee. He actually walks in trying to juke things, instantly goes down, and that just leaves Kanavi and Luma in such a bad position. Luma with no mana, Kanavi having to flash to engage on that, and that's just absolutely disaster. That's just, you know, sometimes players have to think about sunk cost fallacy, and that was just a scenario where, you know, you just cut Shia loose. You take the L on that one.
Yeah, honestly, like, I feel like you said, just a massive miscommunication or just lack of synergy between Shie and the rest of his team, as Luimao and Kanavi were, as you said, going back. They were done. They were ready to leave, and then all of a sudden, walks forward, gets caught. They have to overcommit because they feel like they have to try and save him. I feel, like you said, I feel at that stage, they just let it go. You give up the 1 kill. It feels crap. It doesn't feel great at all, but you don't give up more. You can soak up the wave. But now Rookie, 3-0-3, 100% kill participation. He is massive at the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very scary Rookie. Orianna, played by Rookie, just feels different from anyone else playing Rookie. He's basically made this champion his main. and the way he plays it is super aggressive in lane. I really think we're going to see the Luden's Tempest come out. He's going to be able to snowball on that extra magic penetration, and it's going to be so hard contesting Drakes against the likes of Rookie's Orianna. He can just sit on the blue side ramp, and every time you need to walk down, he just chunks you for half your HP.
See Zoom having a little bit of trouble in the top side against the Shy. Does force him to use his Cull the Meek and Slice and Dice to be able to keep him the wave at a decent angle, but the Shy just keeping himself underneath this tower, knows that he's relatively safe, as bot lane has been the place to go for JDG. That's where they found most of their success, and honestly I feel like that's where they should go back to. This game is definitely not over by any stretch of the imagination, but I do feel like if you're on the side of JDG, you need to start figuring out where you're getting these advantages, and mid lane is not where it's going to be.
It definitely isn't going to be the case, and this is, the game's quickly becoming about how can JDG actually come back. They're roaming Luma right now, but Kanavi is slightly slow to the rotation. They're going to get the full Herald charge down onto that tower, and Rookie already has a 300 gold bounty on him, setting up for the second break. This is not really contestable for JD Gaming at this point.
And Wink nearly got caught out, but Loken realizing the rest of IG was roaming down here. No teleport, though, for either top laner just yet. The Shy just used his ultimate as well. So, yeah, the Shy is still the Shy. But it doesn't matter because his team has so much pressure in mid lane and so much pressure on that bot side jungle that they're going to be able to take this dragon for free.
You gotta love those little love taps happening from the Shy, you know? Zoom is someone he knows very intimately. I believe Zoom even said that he learned his Gnar from the Shy back in the finals. He was the master in that matchup. So, you know, Zoom asked for this. He definitely knew the counter pick was coming, and now he gets to say hello to his senpai.
Yeah, gets to say hi to this. Is it senpai or sensei? It's the thing. If he taught him, you know, you gotta think about which one it is.
I'm not that well versed in Japanese. You're gonna have to tell me that.
Yeah.
You're the weeb here.
Wow. Wow. Just because I am.
That's a compliment.
How dare you? Is it? I suppose anime is becoming far more mainstream with the VTuber craze. It's definitely a lot more. I'm just not a kawaii girl. That's my problem. But I could be Clem. I could be your kawaii girl.
It's
do
okay,
whatever you want.
I wonder what happens to the Shy, though.
Yeah, I do too, as he gets locked up on the top side, has no Mega Gnar left, and he should be pretty easily killed. Nicely done there by Lumao. Kanavi was there just in case he tried to go down back towards the end of the river. Yeah, overextension, very well punished by JDG.
And this is why we do see JD Gaming almost always put Loken onto Jhin. They just love having Lumao leave lane. However, it looks like they're trying to punish Xia in the mid for it. Doesn't happen.
Yep, popping down the Chaos Storm, just making sure that he was able to clear that wave, so stop any potential dive, like you said. You have got Battleland at level 6 now, so the big AoE knock-up as well as shields, or magic damage shield that can come in is very, very important, especially if you're a Victor. You need to be very aware that that can come in at any time. Now, overall, though, the game has definitely settled down from what it was in the early game. It is only about a 1,500 gold lead in favor of IG. The dragons are split evenly. We are going to see an Ocean Soul, though. I still think if you're JDG, you prefer the Infernal over the Cloud, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers from the side of IG. And, yeah, the next fight, I imagine, will be around the dragon in about 3 minutes or just under.
I want to say this game just feels so much like home, you know? Balan doing Balan things, the Shy doing the Shy things, and at the end of the day, Rookie puts out all the fires and IG still win. It just, that seems to have been the script
Rookie's
for
so
long for Invictus Gaming. You know, I really want to see...
They just lean on Rookie so much.
They do. If Rookie wasn't here, I just don't know where this IG squad would be. But Xun has found Kanavi, and they're trying to get the wraparound.
Ooh, they do land the spear, though. Javelin Toss has been hit, and now Zoom's in a little bit of trouble. They land another one. They force 2 flashes out of JDG. The shockwave comes in. Does he have enough damage? The spear is on point, and now it's going to be Xun going 3, 1, and 2 on this Nidalee.
Very good start of the game for him. A very coordinated invade coming in from IG. They rotate Balan here for extra pressure. The bot lane's been completely vacated, and they should be able to close to knock this tower down. If I'm Zoom, I'm not really willing to walk up to this tower anymore, and indeed, he chooses to go back into his own jungle, and this should be a freebie for IG.
Pretty much free and sets them up for a good reset and pressure for that next Drake. You'll have to see for JDG if they are in a position to be able to contest or not. First tower goes over to the Shy in that top side. He's now kind of chipping away a nice little advantage for himself against Zoom on this Renekton, and this doesn't get really better for Zoom at all. It really kind of like, Renekton's great if you can get the flank off onto the squishies, but in terms of the 1v1, Gnar kind of just wins that matchup as the longer this game goes on.
Now, this is a pretty interesting macro decision coming in from IG. They're saying that we're just going to speed up the pace of the game to the point that you can't react. Sure, you can take our bot lane tower, but if we take your mid, your entire top side, then that bot lane tower is not going to stand alone. So I actually like this play coming out from IG. It's a play that just opens up the map entirely, and it makes rotating for Zoom very, very difficult. Like, you're talking about having Jhin clear the wave in mid and having Zoom clear the wave in top and then head to Drake. It's not going to line up. The timings are not going to work out very well in that sense. And you know, it's a strong trade for just the bot lane tower.
Yeah. Now, the one positive, of course, coming into this potential dragon fight in 15 seconds is that you have got teleport available for Zoom. It is almost available for Xie. Should have it just before this one spawns. And it looks like, from all intents and purposes, JDG want to fight this. They haven't, unfortunately, though, gotten a finished item onto Victor, and that is key. As you're looking at Rookie, who's got his full, Ludens finished up, as well as Merc Tread, so he is feeling very, very happy with this particular setup.
Definitely a big item lead on the side of IG. JD Gaming are trying to respond by pushing into mid wave, hopefully goading IG into an initiation. IG just clear the wave, and I like this play for them. They're holding on to their vision blind spots, and they're just going to start the Drake and force JD Gaming.
JD Gaming can't really do much about this. They're kind of, as you said, being forced away. The Shy just playing bouncer, keep away, if you will, with the Orianna Shockwave, which does land on the Xie. They don't quite get the full damage combo down, but with the bullet time, that's a fantastic solar flare. The exhaust has to come down onto Zoom. They jump in with the grand entrance, but it will be Bellland going down. A trade of top for support. The health bars, though, are not looking amazing on the side of JDG. They need to be so careful. The Shy is ramping up his mega, but it's a 1-for-1. The dragon went over in favor of IG.
Yeah, a little bit unnecessary from IG's side. I felt like they could have full backed and just took the Drake, but that's the way IG plays. They're always trying to wiggle around at the edges of your team composition and find those extra picks. I just want to say rest in peace, Ballland. That was kind of funny to watch. He jumped up, landed in the same spot, and Loken still found him.
Oh, Loken has to use his flash here. Even with the Gale Force, there is just not enough distance between him and the very, very, very scary Gnar. And look at the waves. Like, look at the pressure right now. You're going from a mid lane pick that went, 1-1 overall, but then you're getting bot lane pressure, and you get the dragon as well. And it just feels, like you said, it's just IG overforcing, but JD not really looking comfortable with the force.
Probably not Jedi's, but yeah, this was a play IG didn't really need to take, but they wanted to try it out anyway. And in the end, they actually just get a further snowball lead onto the likes of Shun. So, no harm, no foul. And like I said, this is why I really like the early Herald trade to open up mid lane tower. If you already have top down and you have mid down, the bot lane tower trade doesn't really mean anything, because you can easily just walk in and take it away, as the rest of the members on JD Gaming are trying to deal with minion waves. So really well done on IG side, good macro sense there, and still a lot of feistiness in the way IG plays this.
Shun is 2 levels ahead of Kanavi right now, and that is not where you want to be seeing your Graves jungle, which is supposed to be hard farming that experience, and has to give over the buffs, has to give over some CS or some experience to some of his laners, as they're not feeling super strong right now either. Mid lane gonna see a Rift Herald dropped into it straight away as well. And IG, they're just gonna try and maybe force into a decent chunk onto this mid lane tier 2. Have to try and escort it a little bit, though. There you go. They're going to be able to get it pretty much off in the same one, so it's almost dead there. So more and more pressure. That tower is pretty much theirs for the taking if JDG miss-rotate or miss a minion.
And top lane is pretty much open. They have the inner track on IG's side. They can zone JD Gaming away from this. Gnar is going to have a field day on that top lane tower. And JD Gaming right now, they have a number of problems. Their wave clear really isn't that great. Jin isn't a champion that wave clears very well, and they're pretty much forced to rotate Xie all over the map just to catch these waves and make sure they're not bleeding out objectives. A very difficult spot for them to play in. And I think the only way in is to try to force flash and burst catch someone out at this point. It's not going to really work out for you if IG are allowed to just chip away at towers constantly.
Yeah, and you're looking at it. Yeah, you're looking at it from a point of view as well of like trying to find those picks becomes even harder when you have to play, you know, whack-a-mole with the Shun spears. You know, you have to make sure you're not getting hit by those, because 2 of those at a fairly decent max rage will see half your health bar gone, and that's, you know, your fight or your engage just completely gone, regardless of who it is. So lots to navigate here for JDG. They are now 4,000 gold behind. IG just slowly snowballing themselves a bit of a lead, and you can see the items between Shun and Kanavi is just night and day.
That's 2.5k gold lead on a single member in Shun. He also has his Magi Soul Stealer, which does count as a legendary item. So 1,600 gold, but does count as legendary. Does give you extra stats for the Night Harvester, and we'll pretend we didn't see that one wink. It's okay.
Now I demand a replay. I demand a full replay of how far he got it before the patience meter ran out. Fun fact, it's called a patience meter, in case anyone didn't know. When the little red and or white bar that goes red at the top of the minion camps, it's called patience meter. It's the official name.
Well, now we do know. Thank you, Oshin.
That's all I got, Cormac. No problem, buddy. Yeah. I'm always here for. And you know what? You taught me something earlier about the team compositions. Now I teach you. It's a full cycle. We're all learning together.
This is turning out to be kind of a slow game just because there's nothing much that JD Gaming can do. Honestly, they don't really have a winning lane, have no control over these side waves, and it's really about forcing these engages, but Emo isn't willing to chance it either there.
Well, got the taunt out of Baolan, so that's down for at least a couple of seconds. They won't get engaged upon in the next while. Dragon has spawned. That potentially is the third one for IG. JDG, this is kind of what they wanted, though. They wanted that kind of team fight where they're, you know, kind of traditional team fight front to back, but just the pure, you know, smacking them with their wallet, the damage of the items that you've picked up now on the side of IG means that wombo combo, which is fantastic if it works, you know, is just so much more scary to look at, and there's no way they can walk into this dragon pit. That's another dragon going over to the side of IG. They are now waiting on that soul point to spawn. There's a lot here for IG, a lot of good stuff, and for JDG, they're kind of running out of options really to kind of look for something.
Yeah, that definitely is the case right here, and welcome to the new JDG. This is kind of how they've been playing since the Demacia Cup. Very slow and steady. They do need a lot of time to scale this Victor up. And honestly, the same does kind of go for Jin as well. You know, he's a lethality 80 carry, but he does build a lot of crit. And in the late game, that does transfer to extra movement speed. He's actually very difficult to kite, and he can play those front-to-back team fights, just constantly walking away and getting those force shots on your front line. However, that does take a lot of time. So if I'm looking at JD Gaming, the honest truth is they will most likely have to give up the Ocean Drake and play like a 35-minute game. That's kind of what they have on the cards. It's not exciting, it's not LPL, but it is the new JD Gaming.
It is JD Gaming, and you can see now this is exactly what I was talking about just a few minutes ago. Zoom can do nothing against this Gnar now. He is 100% just not... He will accept waves when the Shy allows him to, and that's about as much as he could expect in this 1v1. It is so difficult for him to be able to do anything. He needs to find an absolutely insane flank of any kind of proportion to try and just catch on top of, you know, Wink, or even on, preferably onto Rookie, and just stop the IG from doing anything in these team fights. That's his win condition right now. Overall, I feel like Rookie is just too good of a player. Like anyone else, you'd be kind of thinking maybe they'll get caught out, but Rookie is just proven time and time again that he is one of the best, if not the best mid laner in the world, and he doesn't fall for those tricks.
I just feel like if IG didn't get that 3-piece to start off this game, it would have been so much different, because JD Gaming were handedly winning in the bot side. They would have had access to the Drakes, and this wouldn't have gone so far out of control for them. It's just kind of unfortunate that the early game skirmish really decided the pace for the next 20 minutes on this one. And right now, there's really not much for JD Gaming to do at this point, and it's all about how much towers IG can actually just force out from JD's nose.
Yeah, Rookie keeps
God.
a hold of his ultimate while... Oh, the Shy flashed in. He thought he'd get the last little tick of his ultimate down. The Zoom jumps in, but he's taken already so low. Gets himself just about alive, but goes down anyway. Nothing he can really do there, and this has kind of been the story of Renekton in the LPL so far. It's like, yes, he's good in the lane, but after that, if you don't have the advantage that you expect, you're just gonna die. You're just too squishy.
And this is kind of the one thing that I personally have faulted Zoom on, is whenever he had the matchup against the Shy, even on red side, he typically doesn't ask for the counter pick. He typically resigns to being kind of the punching bag on the team, the front line on the team, even though I know full well Zoom, with his mechanics, can take the Shy on. Unlucky.
Rookie with the perfect position. As soon as the curtain call comes out, gets himself the shockwave. There's nothing that Loken can do. There is no way in hell this Baron is being stolen. But Lando needs to maybe walk away a little bit. He's not really the healthiest, but Sean does eventually come back in. They get the Baron. That's going to be a 7,000 or 7,500 gold lead in favor of IG, and feels like this is going to be a death by 1,000 cuts. It's going to be split pushing into the different side lanes and just taking the towers one by one. It's going to be a decimation.
Yeah, and I really hope that JD Gaming next game, they think about their composition, and if they're ever on red side again, I do hope that they think about more of counter picks to run against. And this is the Shy being a little bit unfortunate, kind of an oopsie moment as he realizes Meganar runs out. Doesn't get the ult down, but all is fine in the world. Shun follows up. And is there anything that Rookie cannot do? He wins worlds, he reads minds, and he kills Loken.
I mean, I think the last one is the real winner of all the things that he's achieved in his life. 5-0-5 on this Orianna, and again, just very difficult to deal with. You can see the Shy very far pushed up, pretty much up until the inhibitor turret, but as a Gnar, he is incredibly safe with that hop. Just bounces himself out, and this is where IG just start to dismantle the rest of the outer turrets, get themselves some nice standing gold, and just look to just own the jungle so that JDG lose even further and further. If you look at, there's 3 levels now between Shun and Kanavi. There's no way they could even smite fight for things if Shun's alive. Oh, Luma. Oh no, he's on the back, but he's a little alone. He misses the Zenith Blade, and he is going to go down. And as well as that, Loken gets chunked out by Shun. They do use the bullet time. They don't even need to use the shockwave just yet. Shie is deleted. Loken nowhere to go. That is going to be Zoom left all by himself. It's 4 quick kills, and this is going to be the saddest kite around. A clean ace for IG over JDG, and this is going to be the game 1 going in favor of IG. This was textbook.
You know, honestly, this is kind of a throwaway game. The only lesson I got here is please don't give Rookie 6 kills before 10 minutes, because if you do, this is what the game is going to look like. Unfortunately, this is what happened. Early game skirmish into absolute massacre of a snowball. I do think that JD Gaming can still try to alleviate some of these situations through draft, have some winning side lanes, have a little bit more early aggression, but mainly this is just spillover from mid lane skirmish.
Yeah, honestly, the Rookie got ahead and never looked back. Shie didn't really know what to do with it, and again, it's not exactly like you're on a playmaker in the likes of a Victor. He's not really someone who can make those plays.